This is a video by Richpin. Today we're working on a Saturn S series. This happens to be a 1999 model, and it's a SC1 single overhead cam engine, and we have a check engine light on, and the code on it is a P0404, and usually what that indicates is a dirty EGR valve. Now right here on the Saturn single overhead cam, right here is the EGR valve. So we're going to remove it and clean it today. Now the first thing we need to do is remove the electrical connector from the EGR. There's a little lock right here. Just pull that out and lift up on the connector. Now the valve itself is held on by two 10mm headed bolts. There's one. There's the other one. And hopefully we won't wreck the gasket. And we can reuse that gasket. Now once we got the valve on the bench, what we can use is a little compressed air in here just to blow out the loose stuff that might be in the valve. Okay, now that we got the loose stuff out, we're going to use some throttle body cleaner. And we're going to spray it all around inside. Okay, now what you can do is this excess that came out of the valve in this little container right here, you can let it soak as long as it's not too deep, say 1/4 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch, and that will help to dissolve the heavy deposits. Now after you've let that soak a little while, what you can do is you can push in on the spindle here, and then you can get right in there, and hopefully you can flush out the spindle and the seat. And if you want, you can let that soak a little longer. Now sometimes even after soaking, you'll have some carbon buildup down in the seat area right here. So what I've made is a little scraper. It happens to be a putty knife, and I bent it with a little hook on it, and what that will let me do is scrape very gently the seat and get that heavy carbon out of there. Now here's another thing you can try. What I've got here is a nut driver with a number 20 Torx bit on the end of it. And right on the end of the spindle right there is a Torx head. Now what you can do is you can rotate it like this. You can spray a little throttle body cleaner in there, spin it back and forth, and use the spindle to cut into the seat area, any carbon that might be there. Now, a short while ago, this one was sticking right against the seat. It's sticking just a little bit. So we got a little bit more cleaning to do. Now, after a little bit more cleaning of the valve, I have good action on the spindle now, so we're ready to put it back on the engine. Here is one last thing you can do before you put the valve in. Bring it out in the sun and look in there in the large hole, push down on the spindle and rotate it, and you can actually see if the spindle has carbon on it. And if it's clear, you're ready to put it on. Now, before you put your clean EGR valve on, what you want to do is run the engine for a couple of seconds without the valve on to blow any carbon that might be in the manifold out. It's going to get quite loud also. And on this particular car, I'm doing a exhaust job too, so there's no exhaust pipe on it. So it'll be a little louder than normal. What I'm going to do is put the intake track on here so any carbon that blows out won't go in the engine. There we go. That blew a little carbon out of there. Now it's just a matter of installing the cleaned EGR valve, and hopefully that cured your P0404 trouble code.